Welcome to the FI4INN Podcast, exploring financial instruments for innovation under Interreg Central Europe. This EU program fosters collaboration among regions to drive balanced development and tackle common challenges. FI4INN is revolutionizing funding schemes in regions like Friuli, Venezia Giulia, Piemonte, Carinthia, Silesia, Hungary, Slovenia, and the Czech Republic, enhancing market-driven innovation. Join us as we tackle the complexities faced by authorities, agencies, SMEs, and startups in managing financial vehicles. Through co-creation and stakeholders' engagement, FI4INN empowers finance providers and policymakers to design impactful instruments with measurable outcomes. In this series, guests from different regions will discuss innovative financial schemes, highlighting FI4INN's role in driving economic, environmental, and social impact. I am Petra Moreno, joined by Luisa Marchioning, exploring the latest in financing and transnational cooperation for research and innovation among SMEs and startups. Tune in for insightful conversations. Welcome to our podcast. Today we are excited to have Eva Petkova, an expert in EU banking financial instruments for urban development in Bulgaria. Eva holds a master's degree in European Studies and a second major in International Relations from Sofia University, with specializations in European structural and investment funds, state aid, public procurement, and green financing. Since 2022, Eva has been a part-time lecturer at Sofia University, teaching a course on shared management financial instruments. With over 15 years of experience in cohesion policy projects, she has been instrumental in implementing the Jessica Urban Development Fund for Sofia and the Sustainable Cities Fund. Currently, she serves as the Director for Urban Development Funds at the Fund for Sustainable Urban Development. Recognized for her expertise, Eva is frequently invited by the European Investment Bank and the European Commission to speak at various events and workshops. Please join me and my colleague Luisa in welcoming Eva to our podcast.
Welcome, Eva, and thank you for joining us today. Let's start with some introduction. Could you please briefly introduce FI4INN and its role in the innovation support ecosystem of Bulgaria?
Yes, hello. Thank you for your kind invitation. FI4INN is also known as the Fund for Local Authorities and Governments in Bulgaria. This organization was established in 2007 as a state policy-driven instrument targeted at Bulgarian municipalities, and most particularly their needs for financing of investment projects implemented with grants under the operational programs or other European-funded programs. FI4INN provides bridge financing and long-term loans for provision of own contribution to Bulgarian municipalities. There are a total of 265 municipalities in Bulgaria, and for the last 15 years of its existence, FI4INN has supported 220 of them, with total loan amount of more than 1 billion euro. Since 2020, FI4INN manages the Bulgarian investment and advisory platform set up with the support of European Investment Bank, aiming to complement the existing urban development funds that are a financial instrument under the operational program Regions in Growth. Meanwhile, since 2012, FI4INN has established a subsidiary, the Fund for Sustainable Urban Development, that managed the first urban development fund for the capital of Bulgaria, Sofia, under the so-called Jessica initiative that covers 2007-2013 period. By the end of 2015, the fund has successfully invested the available resource, and since 2016, I was given the opportunity to reinvest and to recycle the funds into new projects, one of the major advantages, in fact, of financial instruments. Both FI4INN and its subsidiary are partners in the Sustainable Cities Fund, with the largest Bulgarian bank, United Bulgarian Bank, for the management of the urban development funds for 2014-2020 period. By the end of the eligibility period, which was the end of 2023, the Sustainable Cities Fund successfully invested the available resource of nearly 160 million euro into 70 viable public and private investment projects. The urban development funds are in fact an EU shared management financial instrument that aims to provide loans to a broad range of mature investment projects that contribute to the urban development and range from urban mobility to brownfield regeneration, from cultural infrastructure improvements to energy efficiency investments. Contrary to the equity financial instruments and the direct support they provide for startups and companies in their initial stages, the debt financial instrument target not companies, but viable urban projects that generate sufficient revenues and contribute to improving the quality of life of citizens.
And thank you actually for giving us these records and the historical of the FI4INN. And in your experience, what are the connections between the matter of SMEs, innovation and startups, and urban development policies?
Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting one. Surely urban areas are a home of more than 3/4 of EU population, and cities are main drivers of economic growth, main drivers of European policies and leaders of change. But cities are also the places that face a number of challenges, from the growing population to the climate change issues. So the smart city startups, for example, provide solutions that may optimize resource usage, may improve infrastructure, enhance the quality of public services. So the future of urban development, in my opinion, is defined in many aspects by the startup ecosystems that the cities can develop in using IoT technologies, smart grids, energy management systems, intelligent waste management, redefining mobility itself, etc., etc. So I consider the startups are at the forefront of shaping the future of urban development and of driving sustainable and responsible economic growth that the European Union is seeking.
Thank you. And speaking as well, always about urban development policies, and along with your experience, what are the gaps and challenges that urban development policies could address with respect to supporting innovative SMEs and startups in Europe in general, more specifically also in Bulgaria?
As a whole, policies must encourage, especially the urban development ones, considering the many challenges that the cities are facing. The urban policies should encourage risk-taking and encourage and increase the willingness of companies to act without certainty of success, which requires coordination between different policy areas. So the role of the policies is to create the right medium for startups to act and to develop their full potential in order to tackle the many challenges that the cities are facing.
Thank you so much, Eva, for your insightful answers. Now, about the combined instruments, what do you think that are the advantages and disadvantages with these combined instruments with the use of European structural and investment funds?
A combination of support, the so-called combined instruments, are not a novelty for the programming period 2021-2027. What is new is the enlarged scope of one operation combination. That means the combination of grant and financial instrument, either debt or equity, both managed and provided by the fund implementing the financial instrument. The main advantages of the combination in one operation are that this combination meets the investment needs of truly transformative projects that could not find financing through other financial instruments or market loans. This form of support is both beneficial for the projects which have economic, social, or development impact, but also very useful for the final beneficiaries because it makes really easy the implementation of such projects. Other advantage is that this combination provides flexible financial solutions tailored to the final recipients' needs. And when both forms of support are provided by the body implementing the financial instrument, the rules applicable to financial instrument apply to the whole operation together with the grant, which means that payment, reporting, audit, all these major features of financial instrument will be followed also on the grant part, which is a great flexibility compared to the current state, which was in 2014-2020, where the scope of one operation combination was not so broad, was limited only to technical support, interest rate subsidy, and was not possible for example, for investment grant or capital rebate. So now these advantages may be seen in one operation combination, and that is our hope for the future financial instrument, that this combination will be a true trigger for their further deployment. On the contrary, for example, in the framework of the Urban Development Funds 1420, which we managed in Sofia and the cities in southern Bulgaria, we had a compulsory combination in two operations, which means that the financial instrument is under the management of the body implementing the financial instrument, and the grant is awarded by the managing authority. So the whole process was quite complicated, led to very substantial delays and deficiency in the project implementation, and was not good either for the final recipients nor for the financial intermediaries. So I think that the novelties in the new CPR to a great extent mitigate all the disadvantages and push ahead all the advantages, which are also linked with the percentage, with the maximum percentage of the grant aid, which should not be over the financial instruments part on a portfolio level. So these new advantages in one operation combination give us hope that many areas that now struggle with finding proper financing for their projects, for example, urban development, but also research and innovation, may find the right formula for financing of truly viable projects and, of course, of innovative companies.
Interesting. And still on this line, what is the process of and enabling factors to set up combined instruments? And what are the actors and resources to be activated?
In fact, the possibility for combination of support is defined at program level. In 21-27 programming period, both market failures and investment needs are taken into account, and forms of support are justified at program level. And this program support should be justified that is directly linked and necessary for the financial instrument. And if this support is justified at program level, then afterwards, at the ex-ante assessment and in the text of the operational programs, of the programs with European funds, this possibility for combined instruments is incorporated. This is the case with the Bulgarian financial instruments, which for 21-27 period are envisaging a combination of supporting one operation in quite a broad portfolio of investment projects, from startups to urban development projects.
Thank you so much. And now, how could combined instruments applied for urban development be transferred to be used in support of innovative SMEs and startups?
As I mentioned in the previous questions, the urban development instruments, contrary to equity instruments, target the projects, not the companies. These projects should be viable, they should contribute to the urban development, they should fall into the eligible sectors and generate sufficient revenues. And in this relation, yes, there are certain possibilities when innovative startups have viable projects to be financed by urban development funds. But in fact, urban development funds, as debt financial instruments, they target more mature companies and more mature project ideas. In this regard, we have certain projects that provided that in certain sectors, when innovation is needed, for example, shared mobility, and for example, public authorities, the municipalities or more mature companies are not still at this stage for making improvements and making progress and providing a real change. For example, we have supported such company which was in a very initial stage at the beginning in 2018 from recycled Jessica funds. We financed the development of the first EV charging station network in Sofia, for example. And the company was a startup. They also had an equity investment, but as their project really contribute to the better quality of fare, which was one of the major problems of our capital, Sofia, we decided that we may take this risk and provide support to them. In fact, they really developed their shared mobility service in the best possible way. In the coming programming period 14-20, we once again provided financing to them. This time, more substantial one, nearly 1.5 million euro for enlarging this electric vehicle charging station network in the city of Sofia, but also in the eligible cities of southern Bulgaria. And now the same company has received venture financing from the European Investment Bank at a quite substantial scope, nearly 20 million euro, for enlarging and really providing this new shared mobility service into other European countries. So this example shows that urban development and innovation and startup in many areas can go hand in hand and provide mutual support. Of course, when this is justified and possible on the risk part, because some of the startup ideas are only suitable for equity and venture financing.
Thank you, Eva. And actually, following all the examples that you gave us right now, FI4INN project want to collect and gather some examples of good practice in Europe. And that's why now I would like to ask you if there is or there are any instrument within your institution that you will describe as innovative, more in terms of the support delivery model.
Yes, in fact, we are now developing in the framework of FundFlag an innovative financial instrument for clean energy transition, which is targeted to Bulgarian public authorities mainly. But this is quite an innovative approach because we are envisaging a combination of support in one operation. First, combining free technical support with an investment loan from FLAG. It is innovative because still in Bulgaria, a combined instrument is not put in place. They are foreseen for 21-27 period, but still the procurement procedure for selection of the financial intermediaries is not launched by the Fund of Funds. And on the other part, FundFlag has enough experience both with municipalities and with financial instruments. So with the support of WIFE program, we are developing this product, and in the following months, we are beginning an informational campaign. We are delivering this first financial instrument that provides such combination. Especially, we would like to stress on the needs of the public authorities for more intensive use and delivering projects linked with the green transition, especially in the field of energy efficiency, which still here in Bulgaria is lagging behind compared to other countries. For example, the Baltic states have wonderful examples of combined instruments for energy efficiency, and really they have done a wonderful job providing both grants and loans for these very important investments. Here in Bulgaria, up to now, energy efficiency investments are financed with 100% grant support, which is not a good lesson to be learned, just the contrary, because these projects are in fact not generating revenues, but they are lowering the expenses and are really important for the decarbonization of the public authorities and of cities, having in mind the ambitious goals of the European Green Deal. So our latest innovative instrument is linked with clean energy transition. not only energy efficiency, we would also like to encourage investments in renewables, in energy storage facilities, in using the potential of geothermal sources, etc., etc. So it will be an interesting instrument that will give us the first impressions on how truly the market behaves and how the municipalities can comprehend such a combination of support.
You quite linked to the next one, as you were mentioning some good example in the Balkan state related to the green transition. So that's my next question will be, can you think of any other example of good practice in the world in combining instrument that is worthy of being followed?
Yes, as I mentioned, Lithuania and the Baltic states have very good experience with combined financial instruments, for example, for energy efficiency. And this is, for us, for FLAC, a good example that could be followed. There are a couple of other financial intermediaries or fund of funds in the framework of this FLAC-FI project that I've mentioned for the innovative financial instrument. We've been last year to Lisbon, to Portugal, where we met our partners from IFRU 2020, which is the Portuguese fund of funds. They have a spectacular commitment to energy efficiency too, without combination of support, but with a really good framework of implementation, which showed us that in certain cases, it's not about the people and the experts. In some cases, it's about the systems and the institutions that are built and the sustainable vision for the implementation of financial instruments in a specific country. For example, in Portugal, this was spectacular because their fund of funds is comprises 10 to 15 people, but they are managing more than 2 billion euro, and they have a wonderful success rate.
Thank you so much. And I'm quite happy because actually I'm Portuguese and you giving me very good news. So this exchange of experience are also very nice to bring good practices to each countries. Do you have any other interesting experience that you could contribute to the discussion on improving the access of SMEs and startups to financial instruments to support innovation?
I think that it doesn't depend if we are talking for financial instruments for urban development or for startups. For any kind of financial instrument, the most important thing is to be simple, to be flexible, to have opportunities for the financial intermediary to work with final recipients in a straightforward manner, without too bureaucratic requirements. I think the whole framework which the European Commission, with the support of the European Investment Bank and the advisory services that provide support to them in the framework of FI Compass, they show that a lot of work can be done in cooperation between financial intermediaries with hearing our voices, our main issues when implementing the financial instruments on the ground. And what is achieved in the new CPR, I think, is the most important thing is that we've been heard. All financial intermediaries that expressed their concerns with the combination into operation, in the need of more grant support in certain sectors for financial instruments in order to make them really more attractive to final recipients, because in the end, that's our aim, how to use in the most efficient manner the European funds, how can they have the most impact, and how can we achieve more with less, which is one of the major advantages of financial instruments. So yes, we will keep to advocate on the power of financial instruments, on the fact that it can really support the transition, the green, the digital transition, the transition to a new world order, which will not be a world of 100% grants of full state support or of full EU support, but of a sustainable growth that counts on really sustainable business models.
Thank you very much. Those are very good experiences. And I believe that you already replied to the next question about recommendations that could help to improve the range of support tools available on the market. Do you have some recommendations in this case?
I think that now the range is really quite broad. The most important is that it should be communicated in a proper way, and all the potential final beneficiaries become really aware of the support that is available. So yes, I think right now, especially here in Bulgaria, there are a lot of possibilities for financing under the National Recovery and Resilience Facility, under the national grant programs, under financial instrument programs. So it's a broad range of financing, but it should be targeted, as I said, in a most straightforward manner to those that need the most and to areas that have the biggest policy impact.
Thank you very much, Eva. Thank you very much for your time and your insightful answers to our questions. Would you like to add something else that we didn't cover?
No, I think that's all. I was also quite impressed with the experience showed by our Italian colleagues at Turin. So I think that they are really a good example for equity shared financial instruments.
Yes, indeed, they are. It was a very nice exchange of experiences. So, thank you very much, Eva. Thank you very much for your time, and for our listeners. Until next time.
Thank you very much too. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure.